Okay, Algebra 2 students, I want to give you a quick pep talk. One of the difficulties in Algebra 2 is that you move away from simplistic thinking and reasoning and you make your first big transition into complex and difficult problems. I want you to follow along through this one example. Each video is only going to be one example, and do your absolute best. But if you can master this content right here, this is one of the top 3 most difficult contents that you will have to attempt in Algebra 2. So really and truly, if it takes you 4 hours to work through the following 10 problems, take 4 hours. If it takes you 5 hours, if it takes you 6 hours, if it takes you an hour now and then you have to contact me for tutoring, and then an hour then, and then 2 hours later, whatever it takes, if you hold the mindset that no matter what, I'm going to master the following 10 problems and get them all correct, you will move forward through the rest of the year unstoppable. Alright? So I am asking you, for yourself, do this for you. Take the time and truly tackle these problems. I'm sure if you want help from me, I will help you out unreservedly anytime. If you want help from Miss McKay, she would love to help you out. You have 2 teachers who would love to help you out. With that being said, let's get started. Here we have a 3x3 system. And what does 3x3 mean? It means that we have x, y, and z, x, y, and z, x, y, and z. We have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 equations. Okay, so how are we going to tackle this? We have to choose an easy letter to cancel out. Now, in my opinion, it's going to be y. Now, let's talk about y. I know that -2 can be multiplied by something to get to +6. I also know that -3 can be multiplied by something to get to +6. So since 6 is the LCM, or the least common multiple, of 2 and 3, getting rid of the y's seems like the best path forward. Okay, so how will we get rid of the y's? Remember, I'm going to use different colors for these equations. I will use blue for the top equation, and I'm going to use orange for the bottom equation. Okay, and purple for the middle. Alright, let's do this. Let's first write our blue equation, which is going to be 5x minus 2y plus 4z is equal to 20. And I'll write my purple equation, the one with that beautiful +6. We can write this as 3x plus 6y minus 4z is equal to -16. Okay, now also in orange, I'm going to write my third equation right here, 4x minus 3y minus 7z is equal to 10. And I'll go back to my purple and I'll write my middle equation, that beautiful one with the beautiful 6, 3x plus 6y minus 4z is equal to -16. Okay. Now, why am I making such a big deal about that 6? Well, I want to cancel out that 6. And I know that I can use -2 and -3 to cancel out that 6. So how will I do that? What cancels out a +6? A -6. So if I can transform this -2 into a -6, I can cancel out that 6. So -2 times what becomes -6? Well, -2 times 3. And notice, since the signs are already different, one is already negative, one is already positive, we do not have to change it. We do not have to multiply by negative. So we are transforming this top equation. 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times -2 is -6y. That's what we're looking for. 3 times 4z will be +12z. And 3 times 20 will give us 60. Now, why is that so beneficial? Because now we can add straight down, and I'll use this nice purple. I'll use blue here. I'll use blue. I'll continue on. And 3x plus 15x will give us 18x. 6y minus 6y is a 0 pair. It eliminates. That's what we wanted all along. And now we have -4z plus 12z, which is 8z is equal to, and guys, negative 16 plus 60 should be 44. Hopefully I'm not making any errors here. Okay, let's go on to our other equation, our third equation. We're still asking the same question. What gets rid of a positive 6? Well, it's still a negative 6. So the question becomes, what do I need to multiply this line by to turn negative 3 into negative 6? Well, we're going to multiply by 2. So I have 2 times 4x, which is 8x. I have 2 times negative 3y, which is negative 6y. Remember, that was what we were looking for. I have 2 times negative 7, which is negative 14z. And of course, guys, 2 times 20 is, or 2 times 10 is 20. Sorry, I get ahead of myself sometimes. Now remember, we are now going to add these two equations, and 3x plus 8x is 11x. Notice my y's completely cancel out, and now I have negative 4 and negative 14z, which will be negative 18z, is equal to, and here we have this negative 10 plus, oh, I'm sorry, negative 16. Ooh, yeah, you gotta be careful here. That's negative 16 plus 20, which is 4. Now let's go ahead and let's take our two equations, and we're gonna rewrite those, okay? I would encourage you to pause the video before we move on, but pause it right now and finish taking all the notes. Okay, so I've rewritten this very nice and clean. We have our 8x plus 8z equals 44, and our 11x minus 18z equals 4. And guys, y'all actually know how to solve this. These are both in standard form, so we still want to use elimination. And I want to tackle the positive 8 and the negative 18 because they are our smallest numbers. Remember, when you want to eliminate something, you want to use the LCM. Okay, so I could list out 8 and 18, but here's my trick for you. Take the bigger number and start listing out the bigger numbers by factors. And you can actually do this by multiplying it by 1, 2, 3, 4. 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 2 is 36. 18 times 3 is 54. And 18 times 4 is 72. Now I would then say, you know what, well let's take a look at 8. 8, 16, 24, ... But wait a second, I know that 8 times 9 is 72. Alright, so guys, basically multiply the bigger one by 1, 2, 3, 4 until you see a number that you know can be divided by your other number. In this case, I know 72 can be divided by 8. So here's our goal. Our goal is to multiply, and I'll do this in purple. Our goal is to multiply this entire top line by a number that will get 8 to become 72. Well, we know that 8 times 9 will get me to 72. Alright, and so let's go ahead and write this new line. And by the way, since this is a positive and that is a negative, we do not need to change the signs. Okay, so one of these is going to be kind of difficult. Use a calculator. 9 times 18 will give us 162. So I'm just rewriting this down here. 162x. And 9 times 8 will give us plus 72z is equal to, and 9 times 44, once again use a calculator, 9 times 44 will give us 396. On the bottom in orange, well, we know that we need to multiply this by some number that gets us to 72. Well, look, 18 times 1, 18 times 2, 18 times 3, 18 times 4, we're going to multiply this whole bottom line by 4. We know that 4 times 11 is 44x. 4 times negative 18 is negative 72z. And 4 times 4 is going to give us 16. And now we're going to add straight down. So 162 plus 44 will give us 206x. I know that my z's cancel out, which is what we were going for this whole time. And lastly, guys, 396 plus 16 will give us 412. And guys, I don't know if you can see it, but we are so lucky because now to get x by itself, you know this. We divide both sides by 206. Oh, 206. And guys, x is equal to 412 divided by 206 is 2. So So guys, we did all that hard work, but now we actually have an incredibly simple number. Now look, you get your choice. Do you want, from these two 2x2 equations, much like you know how to do from here, do you want to use the top one or the bottom one? Personally, I think that the top one, I think the top one would be easier. So let's use the top one here. We'll say 18x, because wait a second, we know what x is. 18x plus 8z is equal to 44. And guys, you've done problems like this over and over and over again at this point. We know x is 2. So let's go ahead and work this down. We know that 18 times 2 is 36, because remember, hey, our factor right there, plus 8z is equal to 44. We can subtract 36 from both sides, and now we have this. 8z is equal to, and wait a second, 44 minus 36 is just 8, and we divide both sides by 8, and wait a second, z is equal to 1. Hey, that's another nice, easy number. Now y'all pause the video and finish taking your notes, and I'm going to clean this up for us so we can finish the problem. Okay, y'all, and so now we know that z is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, and look, you go back to your original 3 equations, and now we can choose any one of those 3 to find our y value. Now, personally, as I look at them, I feel like this one probably is going to be the easiest. So let's go ahead, we're going to write it in orange. We'll write 5x, and use a parentheses for everything you know, minus 2y, plus 4, oh wait a second, I know what z is, plus 4z is equal to 20. 5x minus 2y plus 4z is equal to 20. Okay, and so we'll plug in our z value of 1, we'll plug in our x value of 2, and now we can begin solving this. I know that 5 times 2 is 10 minus 2y, 4 times 1 is 4, is equal to 20. And from here, I know that 10 and 4 combine to be negative 2y plus 14 is equal to 20. And of course, guys, y'all all know how to solve it from here. We subtract 14 from both sides, bring it up here. I've got negative 2y is equal to 20 minus 14 is 6. I divide both sides by negative 2, and I get y is equal to negative 3. So now I know y is equal to negative 3. Oh. And guys, we can now write our final equation. We know that every 3x3 system is made up of an x, a y, and a z, or in this case, our x value is this positive 2, our y value is this negative 3, and our z value is going to be this positive 1. And we've done it. If you can do this, you can do anything. Take your time, rewatch this video, do as much practice as you need to do. Any of these problems that you don't understand, reach out to me, whastings@dallasist.org. Reach out to me via my Remind, whatever it takes. Alright, let's move on.